You think maybe I should get the extra?
It's not an extra,
Yeah, but usually I'm the better shot.
usually.
Yeah.
Hi, Steven. I'm Christopher Gallardo with Hollywood Handle. How are you doing today?
Nice to meet you, Christopher.
It's nice to meet you. So to get this started, is there any action movie that you really love that has become like your pure comfort movie?
Ooh. Can I call this an action movie? I'm really in love with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I don't know that it's like, it has action sequences. I don't know if it's a full-on action movie. If I had to go really strict action movie though, I actually really like Rebel Ridge. I think my brother Aaron Pierre crushed it in that movie.
I love that movie so much.
He killed it. It was such a simple story, but the performance is what did it.
I really got to rewatch that movie again after all that. But to get this interview rolling, given all the action movies that you've watched recently and ones that have also recently released, what do you think makes a really good action movie?
I think what makes a really good action movie is a film that isn't just all action, right? Where you can walk out of an action movie and be fed, honestly, and feel some heart and feel connectivity to the character development. I think John Wick gets kind of ragged on sometimes in the best way because it's like all like kill everybody kind of deal. But at the core of that story, people forget the first John Wick was all about this dude whose dog got killed, right? And then he was pissed off and he killed everybody. And we can all connect to losing a loved one, a pet or a person. And I think, Shadow Force is the same kind of thing. It's like it's the only action movie I've ever cried and laughed in, right, at the same time, sometimes in different scenes and whatnot. And so, to me, like, that's what makes a special action film is when you have a heart connection to it.
Definitely. And with the films like Taken as well, especially in that aspect as well. And the movie, speaking about family, has a really strong theme surrounding family in the center of the story. So for you, what really resonated about this idea that really called out to you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when Leon, the original writer, brought me this script in 2018, what resonated the most is that I'd never seen it. I love Mr. and Mrs. Smith for what it is, and Kerry, ironically, is in that movie in a small role. But I've never seen an action movie that centered people that look like me. And so in a lot of ways, the existence of this movie is radical because of that.
Definitely. And one last question for you. Besides Rebel Ridge, I also love They Cloned Tyrone, which was one of my favorite films in 2023. And even though I know there were some rumblings for a sequel back then, do you think we can expect some sequel in the future? And if not, then what would have it looked like?
Listen, I would love to make a sequel to They Cloned Tyrone. We'll see what Netflix says about that, but that film is a really special one for me because it's very indicative of exactly what the reason I'm producing in the first place, right, is to create the comp, right, create films that don't exist already so that people after us can point to this now and honestly leave the industry better than I found it. And the other thing is sugar with the medicine. Let's find a way to give you the popcorn, give you the quote unquote sugar, right? But like let's feed you, let's talk to you, let's give you some messages in there too that hopefully make you think after the fact, right? And so, with this film, Shadow Force is no different. Like it certainly is creating the comp because as I mentioned, its existence is radical. And so I hope that there's other films like this after this.
Definitely, I hope there's films like this. I really enjoyed it. So Steven, thank you so much for your time. Really hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. I know you play Barry throughout the Jurassic World films, and given how we're getting Rebirth in the next few months, how do you think the best elements from those previous films can be carried into that film?
In that film, I think each movie feed the other one, But in this one, I think it's more like for I don't know, Barry maybe it's like the science part, maybe, I don't know, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. I can't wait to see you in this film, and I gotta say, Omar, thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, I'm Christopher Gallardo with Hollywood Handle. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So,
one question. What's it gonna be?
Okay, so you're Kerry Washington, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I know you played Alicia Masters all the way back with Fox's Fantastic Four. So, given those characters are being revitalized with First Steps, how do you think the best elements from those previous films can be carried into First Steps?
Into what?
Fantastic Four First Steps, the new Fantastic Four.
Oh, I really don't know that much about the new Fantastic Four. I'm excited about it, though. It's been, remade a few times, so I'm sure they'll do a great job.
Definitely. And it's okay if I can get one more question? Okay. You also played Shuri in the old Black Panther TV show, and given Chadwick's impact and Letitia Wright taking on the titular mantle in the near future, how do you think that film, as well as this one, can drive for further representation in the future?
I'm really excited because Shadow Force is a story that reminds me of some of my most favorite action films, but in many ways it's also like a film I've never seen before, because even though it is a big, badass, splashy action adventure film, at its heart, it's a story about Black love and family and being willing to go to the ends of the earth to protect the things that matter most to you, which is family over everything. So I really love that this film is kind of unique in many ways, even though it kind of grounds itself in great action tradition.
Definitely. Well, I can't wait to see your performance. Thank you so much, Kerry. Really hope you have a wonderful night. I'm Christopher Gallardo with Hollywood Handle. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
All right, so to get this started, is there any action movie that you love that is just like your pure comfort movie?
I mean, you can't go wrong with going back to the original Matrix. Like you could just watch that over and over again. It ages well, yeah.
Definitely. I love The Matrix so much. And to get this interview rolling, given all the action movies you watched and the ones that have recently released, what do you think makes a good action movie?
I am personally a fan of dirty fights, where it's very like life or death. It's sloppy, you know, and you can really more so than just like a dance, you know. I like to see people really go for it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I also love some of the practical stunts that also occur in this film, as well as so many other films, and they're always the best, and I'm excited to see them here. So without going into spoilers, was there one that particularly stood out to you while you were filming?
What particular fight? You know, the cool thing about this movie is pretty much everybody does something cool. And so I'll say that without spoiling anything. Like, yeah, everybody has a moment. Yeah.
If you could do your own practical stunts, do you think you would want to do them like what Tom Cruise does?
I actually do. I do them in this, and I did them in another Joe Carnahan movie that's coming out later this year.
Hi Ed, I'm Christopher Gallardo with Hollywood Handle. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. Good to meet you.
It's good to meet you too. So to get this started, is there any action movie of yours that you really love that is also your pure comfort movie?
Action movie, yeah. My pure comfort movie would be Road Warrior. Not the original, not Mad Max, but the second one. It's just such a goofy Aussie apocalyptic western, and I can watch that movie anytime. Yeah.
I love that answer so much. And to get this interview rolling, given all the action movies that you've watched recently that have also recently released, what do you think makes a really good action movie?
You got to have a reason. There's got to be a purpose to it. I mean, this is a huge 80s action film, and there's no green screen and there's no volume stage on it, but you know, it's all about family. It has heart. And so then you can get away with the big action set pieces because you've earned them. You can get away with the humor because you've earned it. So all of the way you want an audience to feel, this movie earns it by having heart.
I love the heart and all the family aspects of it. And speaking about the family, the movie also has a strong theme about forbidden love in the center of the story. So for you, what really resonated about this idea that really called out to you for this film?
I'd worked with Kerry before, and she's just amazing. And the cast, Omar Sy, Mark Strong, and I've known Joe Carnahan for a long time, and I knew that it would be a great. And then I have this amazing, I try not to give too much away in the movie, but I have an amazing secret. The idea of working with, Divine Joy Randolph. She hadn't won the Academy Award yet, but she had. She did like a year later. So everything about this movie was the green light.
I absolutely love that you had a really good time on this. And supposing that if you can continue in the future with this, would you want to do your own practical stunts like the one that Tom Cruise does?
Yeah, I've done a lot of them, and they actually hurt a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I go through a glass table in this movie, and it didn't work the first time, so we had to do it again. I've gotten pretty banged up. I mean, stunt guys are made of scrap metal. They earn their pay big time. So it's fun to do them. The stunt guys usually make it look better, so it's better to just sort of like pop in after the thing goes down because those guys sell it because it's an art form. Stunts aren't just tough guy stuff. It's an art form.
Definitely. I've seen so many stunts happen in person live on set. So is there any stunt that you've worked on in the past that really stood out to you and really inspired your performance here?
Well, like I said, I've been on a lot of movies, done a lot of stunts, car chases, all kinds of stuff like that. They are dangerous, and it's a good way to get banged up. And we could sit here for about an hour, and I could tell you all the stories of all the crazy stuff that I've been put through. So it's, but that's why action movies are such a huge genre, because people love it, and you do all that work and you get all banged up for a reason, because the final product is so cool.
Definitely. Well, I can't wait to see your performance in this film, and I gotta say, Ed, it's been a wonderful time talking to you. Really hope you have a wonderful night again.
You too. Thank you so much.